I'm going to show you 10 good reasons to visit the Swamp Rabbit Trail in Greenville, South Carolina. 10 cool things to see on the SRT. And they're all free. They won't cost you a thing. I live less than a mile from a popular rail trail known as the Prisma Health Swamp Rabbit Trail Network. It's a 28-mile multi-use greenway that traverses along the Reedy River, an old railroad corridor, through some city parks, and it connects Travelers Rest with the city of Greenville in what we call upstate South Kakalaki. Actually, no one calls it that. So how did the Swamp Rabbit Trail, aka El Swamp Rabito, how did the Swamp Rabbit Trail get its name? Well, it turns out that the SRT follows along the historic rail bed of the Greenville and Northern Railway, popularly nicknamed the Swamp Rabbit, because it passed through some wetlands along the Reedy River and the train ride was said to have been a bit bouncy, imitating the movements of a swamp rabbit. Call me crazy, but a train is not supposed to hop like a rabbit, and maybe that's why the Greenville and Northern Railway went out of business. I don't know. But I digress. Enough railroad history. Let's get to the reason you clicked on this video. 10 awesome things to see along Greenville's Swamp Rabbit Trail. Let's go. Number 10 is Rusty the Rabbit. It's a cute and quirky, oversized steel rabbit sculpture that you can find trailside in Unity Park, just a little bit northwest of downtown Greenville. This 10-foot tall, 4-foot wide rabbit made of corten steel was an award-winning sculpture at a Greenville Arts Festival called Artisphere. Some folks on staff with the city of Greenville noticed the piece and said, you know, that rabbit would be a great addition to Unity Park. And so they bought it from artist Dale Rogers from Massachusetts. They installed it right next to the trail in Unity Park, where you just can't miss him. And then they held a naming contest. Rusty was the winning name for obvious reasons. Rusty the Rabbit has become a popular selfie spot. Number 9 is the Monaghan Mill Water Tower. Greenville, South Carolina was once known as the textile capital of the world, with 18 textile mills operating in just 3 square miles. Well, times have changed and Greenville is more closely associated with the automotive industry these days, but today you can still see the smokestacks, water towers, and brick mill buildings that still stand throughout the area. 15 of the 18 mills are still standing. Most of the old mills have been redeveloped into apartments and condos. Some people enjoy living in these buildings because they're so full of rich history. Others just like the exposed brick and high ceilings. This water tower served the old Monaghan Mill, and the tower still stands trailside near the Swamp Rabbit Cafe and Grocery. It is passed by hundreds, if not thousands, of Swamp Rabbit Trail visitors every day. Number 8, the Furman University Bell Tower. I'm going to be on my best behavior in this video and not refer to Furman as a woke indoctrination center, even though it is one. Because I have found in the comments that me saying that just really rubs some people the wrong way. So I'm just going to call it Furman University in this video since I'm in a charitable mood, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, between Greenville and Travelers Rest, there is a very scenic little loop that connects directly to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. And this loop travels around Swan Lake on the Furman campus. It's open to the public, and the centerpiece of the Swan Lake Trail is this iconic bell tower with a history that goes back to 1854. Are you kidding me? That's when the original tower stood watch over Furman's downtown campus. The bells sounded at the start of classes and were rung to signal a Furman football victory. Well, the school eventually moved to its current location in Greenville County, and this 88-foot tower is an exact replica that was built and dedicated in 1965. Today, this bell tower serves as a very popular location for graduation and birthday photo shoots, engagement and pregnancy photo shoots, all of that stuff. You know, these kids today have a photo shoot for everything. But I digress. Now, as I was out on this particular bike ride, shooting video of these 10 things for you, my faithful friend, my faithful viewer, I came across some other viewers of the channel. Yeah, it was a couple of those e-biking couples. Man, you know how those e-biking couples are. But these were really nice. They were great. They were great. I got to meet Drew and Teresa and Steve and Cindy. We talked for a good 10 or 15 minutes. I ran into them again at Unity Park a few hours later, and we talked some more, and it was like I had known them all my life. My friends, we are harnessing the power of YouTube to bring people together. It's a beautiful thing. I'm taking it too far, right? Yeah. But hey, I'll just say what I've said before. You tend to meet the nicest people on bike trails. Number 7 is the paper clip. So what had happened was, not too long ago, there was this desire on the part of the keepers of the trail, whoever they are, to extend the Swamp Rabbit Trail from Cleveland Park near downtown Greenville all the way out to Verde Boulevard, where the rich people live. This was going to require that the SRT climb a pretty steep hill in order to cross over the very busy Lawrence Road on a new pedestrian bridge. Well, not everybody's got an e-bike, so how were average people going to handle this sudden increase in elevation? Well, engineers and traffic and mobility nerds put their heads together and came up with this series of switchbacks that they affectionately refer to as the paper clip. And when you look at it on this map, you can see why. It looks like a paper clip. Now, when you look at it from this angle, it also looks kind of like a teardrop to me. But nobody calls it the teardrop. Whatever you call it, it definitely gets the job done. And it just makes the ride a little more interesting. Number 6, Auro Bridge. This iconic bridge, named for Auro Hotels after a sizable donation, opened in May 2022. Auro Bridge was constructed by Bridge Brothers of Atlanta on site by specially trained crews suspended on cables, working from both sides of the river. It's made of weathered steel with cable railing and wood decking, and is the current focal point of Greenville's Unity Park. The 165-foot long, 14-foot wide custom bridge was built at a cost of $2 million. It is said to give people a unique vantage point over the restored Reedy River corridor. But let's just keep it real here. I mean, in Unity Park, the Reedy River can hardly be called a river. It's more like a creek, and a shallow creek at that. I was there when the bridge was being constructed, and I would watch as construction workers would simply walk out into the river to pass equipment back and forth. No bridge needed. But what the heck, it's a cool bridge, right? And definitely a showstopper for visitors to Unity Park. Number 5 is the Keep On Pedaling Memorial Bench. On the Swamp Rabbit Trail near Travelers Rest, South Carolina, sits a decorative bench that's more than just a place to rest. It is a memorial from a daughter to her dad. And it's a work of art. Sonia says that keep on pedaling was an often repeated phrase that her dad, avid cyclist Michael Eugene Dawson, would use to motivate her to exercise and encourage her to never give up. And now this bench is encouraging others every day. There's also a plaque thanking the individuals, businesses, and organizations that made this wonderful memorial possible. Guess what? We're on our way to 5K. Can you believe it? 5,000 subscribers. It's just over the hill. It's over the horizon. Do me a favor and do yourself a favor. If you like bike trail review videos on YouTube, then like and subscribe and ring the bell and share and blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. All the YouTube things. Do that for me. Thanks. Number 4 is the Unity Park picnic shelters. These decorative shelters are definitely unique. Created and installed by the Heirloom Companies out of Campobello, South Carolina. These trailside shelters mix steel with Alaskan yellow cedar to give folks a fun, contemporary, and comfortable place to take a rest and enjoy a snack or a meal. These award-winning artistic shelters are see-through but also protect you from the weather. The roofing used is a UV-resistant double-wall polycarbonate that provides a cooler area to enjoy the park while still allowing the sun to shine through. I mean, duh. I mean, we all know how UV-resistant double-wall polycarbonates work, right? Number 3 is this airplane. It's the Rudolph Anderson Memorial, and it sits trailside in Cleveland Park, a little southeast of downtown Greenville. Greenville High School graduate Major Rudolph Anderson Jr. was shot down over Cuba in a U-2 spy plane in 1962. He was the only American killed by enemy fire during the Cuban Missile Crisis. This memorial to Anderson was erected and dedicated in 1963, long before the Swamp Rabbit Trail came into being or was even thought of. The memorial features a Cold War fighter jet, angled for action. At the time, no U-2 planes were available, so a Korean War-era F-86 Sabre jet, like one Anderson had flown on other combat missions, was used instead. There's a wealth of information on placards detailing the significance of this memorial. Rudolph Anderson Jr. was inducted into the South Carolina Aviation Hall of Fame in 2008. Number 2, the Mural at Berea Station. Where the Swamp Rabbit Trail crosses Sulphur Springs Road in Berea, you'll find this artistic nod to nostalgia. Titled Berea, A Look Back, this painting by artist Adam Schrimmer came from interviews with Berea residents to capture the area's oral history. Art students from Berea High School were involved as well. When they say it's a look back, they're not kidding. There's several churches from the area included in the mural. The fact that cotton farming was once big business in the Berea area. There's a bulldog, which is the mascot of the local high school. There's even a swamp rabbit. And in sort of an awkward twist, there's these 3 guys that appear to be checking out this girl. Now, you know, that's how the world worked back then. Guys thought girls were pretty. Guys would check out girls. And girls might have pretended to not like the attention, but secretly they really enjoyed the attention quite a lot. And it was this delicate dance that took place, and now the Me Too movement has come along and ruined everything. No, it's just that I work with a lot of millennials and Gen Z kids, and let me tell you something, these kids today are sensitive. But yeah, this young lady was enjoying her time in the spotlight there, being admired by 3 of Berea's most eligible bachelors, apparently. But I digress. So I'm minding my own business out on the SRT, gathering some footage for this particular video, and I hear this gentleman coming up behind me, and he's saying good morning to everybody that he passes. And when he gets up right behind me, before he even saw me, somehow he recognized something, and he said, "Mr. Joyful Trails, how you doing?" And that's when I met Sean.
I just try to show people the same love God shows me. He shows me grace and mercy, so I try to show everybody else grace and mercy. God is love. So we're supposed to love God and love our neighbor. Right now, you're my neighbor. So I'm supposed to love you like I love God. If everybody simply did that, this world would be so much better.
This guy really blew me away with his mindset, his enthusiasm, his outlook, his faith, his willingness to share it.
A simple hello goes a long way. You never know what people are going through. Prime example, I lost my best friend yesterday, my brother. Yes, he's been sick for a while. He was diabetic and everything. He passed away on yesterday, but life goes on. I love my brother and everything, but he wouldn't want me sitting at the house grieving. So as a Christian, even though you go through things in life, you're supposed to still show the love of Christ through it, because people should want what you have, and what I have is Christ. So people should simply just want that, because everybody's going to go through something. We're all Job. It's just poor Job went through what we go through in a lifetime all in one day.
We stood there and talked for a good 10 or 15 minutes and ended up exchanging prayer requests, and I'm just going to have to say it again. You tend to meet the nicest people out on bike trails. You know, I've never done a full, proper Joyful Trails review of the Swamp Rabbit Trail, even though I live here. It's within walking distance of my condo, and I've never given it the full JT treatment, and I'm not doing that today. I'm just focusing on 10 things that are fun to see on the trail. One of these days, I'm going to do a full-length Swamp Rabbit Trail video review, and it's going to be amazing. Maybe. Who knows? But I have done some other videos. I did a video about the Traveler's Rest portion of the trail. I did a video on what I think they call the Green Line extension. I did a video about having to ride the trail for 11 days when I was without a car. I'll tell you what, I'll put cards, they call them cards, up above either here or here. I don't know. But I'll definitely link to all of those videos in the description box below. If you are an SRT aficionado, if you just can't get enough information about the Swamp Rabbit Trail, I'll give you some links in the description box down below, and you can check out some of our other SRT videos. We've reached the #1 item on our list, and it is the Liberty Bridge at Falls Park. This one-of-a-kind pedestrian bridge in downtown Greenville is a showstopper and has become truly iconic in these parts. It basically serves as sort of an inanimate mascot for the city of Greenville. You see it all over the place in logos, earrings, posters, even this bench. The award-winning Falls Park serves as host to Liberty Bridge and gives folks a great view of Reedy River Falls. That trickle of a river that we saw back in Unity Park somehow becomes much more impressive by the time it reaches these rocks in downtown Greenville. Now, technically the Swamp Rabbit Trail passes right through Falls Park, and you will have an excellent view of the bridge, but cyclists are not supposed to actually ride across the bridge, but many do. My office over at my day job is just about 2 blocks from Liberty Bridge. The 345-foot long, 12-foot wide bridge was built at a cost of some $4.5 million. But you can cross it for free. So, those are 10 of my favorite things to see on the Swamp Rabbit Trail. What are yours? Have you ever been to the SRT? Let me know in the comments whether you have ever visited the Swamp Rabbit and what are your favorite things to see along the trail. If you enjoyed this video, here's 2 more that YouTube thinks you'll like just as much. Why don't you go ahead and watch them next? And I'll meet you right back here sometime soon to once again continue our quest to find a little joy in the journey.